Oh, jeez. Hang on. All right. Sorry, I was just hanging out there for a second. Got a little too comfortable. Welcome to Hot Makes. My name is Caleb. Jim is not here tonight. He got called in last minute to... He said he's on call just like very, very rarely. And the last 4 times he hasn't actually been called in. But tonight, of all places, or of all times, he got called in. So, wow. So it's me. It's your regular, everyday, awkward Caleb for the show tonight. Anyway, welcome to Hot Makes. I'm the producer of the show when I get around to it. Battle Cry's already on it with the frozen chicken emergency. It was a frozen chicken emergency, which I have something exciting to share with you guys sometime soon. Probably not tonight, but sometime soon. Karen, hello. And New Dan. Welcome back, New Dan. All right, so we'll go over the boilerplate stuff. Welcome to Hot Makes. This is a show where we find hot people doing hot stuff and we show it off. We get cool guests who talk about the stuff that they do and oftentimes join us for checking out some of the stuff that you do. Tonight's going to be probably a little bit of a shorter episode. New Dan, old Dan. Wait, I'm confused. I've been confused for the longest time. I think Dan, instead of sticking with MakerMind Nexus, Dan, you should switch to a new username or a new online persona and just call it Old Dan. So then you would be New Dan, or you'd be Old New Dan, or New Old Dan. I'm not sure. It's weird when Jim isn't here. Anyway, so link. So there's links in the description of everything we talked about tonight, including all of the hot makes that we pulled and the stuff that we weren't able to pull. We have a lot tonight. We have a bunch on the list. And I was on the phone with Jim before old Dan. Yeah. I was on the phone with Jim before starting to get ready for the show, and he warned me that Local Maker Michigan is a lot on this list, or is on this list a lot. I can't talk. So Local Maker Michigan is like the star, I guess, of the hot mix segment tonight. We'll find out exactly how many. Maybe somebody keep counter when we do that. Second off, if you enjoy the show, consider donating to the show's Oreo fund. You can so we just include hot makes, in quotes. You don't have to put it in quotes, but include the word hot makes in a note to the PayPal account that's in the description. And normally we would check and read all of those at the end of the show. But Jim isn't here, and that's his PayPal account. So also I'm out of focus. What is going on here? I mean, I'm out of focus in general, but there we go. There's also super chats and stuff, blah, 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 blah. Money's nice, but you don't have to send us money. So also make sure you're watching and subscribed over on the main Hot Makes channel. Nightbot should be posting that in the chat, but might not, or Nightbot might not. Say that 4 times fast. Nightbot might not be posting. I gotta figure that out. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going, brother? And I think that's it. So I'm not gonna waste too much more time. Just me chatting. I'm gonna go ahead and bring our guest in. So you might remember a little while ago, Jim and I were looking at the hot makes that were submitted, and somebody had submitted a really awesome looking Koozie design. And Jim was like, we got to get this guy on the show. And I started looking at more of the stuff that he does. And it's like, there's a bunch of really cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, but 90% koozies. And I feel like when somebody does that much of one thing, they've got to know something we don't. You know something I don't, clearly. So let's CJ in. CJ's in the background. CJ, are you ready? All right. CJ, welcome to Hot Makes. How you doing, man? Good. How about yourself? Oh, wait, I forgot. There we go. Nice. So CJ, I'm happy to have you on the show. I'm sorry that Jim isn't here. He did say he apologizes. Understand. I really honestly should have told you that he didn't apologize and that he specifically
Yeah, right. Skipping it.
he was avoiding you.
Talk to me.
So, but he did apologize. He's sorry that he wasn't able to make it tonight. It's extra bad because we're only doing this every other night. But hey, I got to get some practice. You know, I'm not a talk show host. I can't just sit and talk for hours, but I can fill like 10 minutes before somebody comes on. Anyways,
Right.
CJ, how are you doing?
Good. Very, very good. Yep. Glad to be here. And thanks for inviting me. Honestly, like I said, it's kind of when you messaged me, I was like, say what? I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we can talk. I was like, I make some koozies. You can stick a beer can in it. Yep, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, see, my thing with this show is when I'm looking for guests to invite to add to our calendar, I don't care how many or how few followers they have. I don't care if they understand how video chat works or if they've barely used a computer. I mean, it doesn't matter to me where people are in their making journey. What matters to me is what they are doing, like, and if they're passionate about it. I have this problem. I have an addiction. I'm gonna go ahead and this is a what is it called? An intervention. I have an addiction. My addiction is to passion. When I it's those moments where somebody goes, oh wait, okay, let me tell you about that, and then they spend the next 15 minutes going into extreme detail about something that nobody else knows anything about, but they're excited and they're energetic and they know every little detail about it. That those are the moments that I absolutely live for. And I'm not saying I expect that from you tonight, but I'm saying
I hear you 100%. If you ask my wife, there's plenty of times during parties I'm flipping through my phone going, check this one out. Look at that. That is
well, it sounds like you're like that with Jeeps too, though, right?
Do what?
It sounds like you're like that with Jeeps too, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got that's the second thing. Yeah, usually, like I said, my modeling kind of slows down a little bit come good weather. I've got a 77 CJ5 that just came out of the transmission shop because I blew that up in the fall. And so several $1,000s later, it is back up and running. But warm weather, I'm out tinkering with that quite a bit as well. So it slows down a little bit, but I still have at least 3-4 models a week usually come out.
Yeah.
My wife, like I said, she's exactly like that. I love talking about stuff. I love people come up with designs. You know, either I've got a bunch of guys I actually work with. A lot of us are ex-Navy guys. Mm-hmm. Usually darker sense of humor, stuff like that. So they're like, oh, you should do a koozie like this. I'm like, well, I do have to post it somewhere. You know, some of these I can't really, throw out there. They're not quite good for the general public. So
all the dirty stuff on the internet ends up.
Yeah, exactly. So I love getting stuff like that. Usually, like I said, my wife usually has to stop me. She's like, hey, you done? That's it. Let someone else talk. I'm like, all right, I'll put my phone down for a second. Okay. So yeah, I love doing it. It's stuff I would have in my bar. It's stuff I like carrying a beer around in. It's stuff I stick on the bar for display. It's stuff, it's that kind of stuff. It's stuff I like.
So I guess that kind of leads into a question that I had that I'd written down ahead of time is what is your inspiration? Like, how do you decide what you're going to make next? Are you do you kind of like, I mean, it seems like some of your inspiration is having something cool to put on display at the bar, but it's functional, right?
Yeah. I mean, first, like it's kind of weird because I honestly, it's not weird, but I mean, most of the time I'm kind of wandering around, and like looking, and seriously, I look at stuff and I'm like, I'll bet you I can stick a beer can in there. And that's not that is a big part of it. What was the one? The Viking horn one. Like that one took time because actually I was trying to get it to fit on like a small 220, build plate. Mm-hmm. And the reality is it wasn't looking right because I was mashing it up and I was like, I didn't like it. So I ended up having, I think it's actually taller than 220. So I think it had to go on my Delta because it had to be taller to make it look right. But same thing, I was like, I'll bet you I could stick a beer can in there. And that's the same thing. It's like, I think on Amazon or something or whatever, Temu or something, you see the actual, you can buy the horns, the cups.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, well, I don't want a cup. I want to stick a beer can in it.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's literally where it comes from. Is that's the majority of the time is, can I stick a beer can in it? And
so
then
you just walk around in everyday life and you see something.
Yeah.
It doesn't even. I guess it doesn't even have to be relatively cylindrical, and you're just like,
no, can I stick a beer can in it?
Yeah.
If I can do that, and can I model it? And then usually I kind of go through spells of what's the next thing. Blender. I use Blender for all the modeling, and Blender is like this infinite learning curve. I mean, it's like, I'm sure there's some people out there that know it all. I don't. I mean, I consider myself like a novice when it comes to Blender with the stuff I do. But you'll see kind of a trend sometimes of what am I learning in Blender? And then it kind of goes down that path, what texture am I tinkering with and stuff like that. And that tends to be a lot on the models.
Yeah. So you were, I have a question for you. You may not be prepared for this, or you may be.
Right.
I've always wondered do you know what is a Koozie? What does the word Koozie mean?
That's a good point.
Why are they called Koozies?
No, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. And the other thing, actually, I was contemplating posting this someplace to have like a poll of, okay, is it Koozie? Like Koozie? Is it Koozie Y? Is it Koozie CO? Is it Cozy?
Oh,
COZY. And I know who was I talking to that said it? I think Free Heathen, Maker Millwright. I think on Twitch he was talking about it, and we were talking because I at one point made a Koozie for him, and it was and he, like, I think even me writing the word Koozie read it cozy, and I was like, what the hell is a cozy? Okay, I got you, Koozie. Okay, it's just, I don't know. It's just I think a Midwest thing. I'm in Illinois, so I think that's what it is. That's what we've always called them. But
maybe.
Yeah,
but I just assumed the way you were spelling it on your posts was the right way. But now that you mention it, I've seen people spell it with a C at least.
Yeah. I've even seen it
Koozy.
Yeah, I've seen it spelled even not. It's not Koozie. It's Cooley. I've seen that one too. COOLIE.
Well, that one's just wrong. I don't know where they're saying.
That's what I say. It's completely. Koozie. I spell it the right way. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm going to keep spelling it that way. Don't care. It's not a can holder. It's a Koozie.
It's like cornhole. I live in Arkansas now, and it's cornhole. You throw bags. Bags back and forth, bean bags back and forth into a bowl or into a board with a hole in it that's held up at an angle. It's cornhole. Yep. Everybody down here, bago. Everybody down here calls it bago. And I get it. You're throwing bags in a circle, which that could be kind of an O, but it's cornhole.
Cornhole just has a dirty sense to it or something. There's something weird about saying it all the time. I'm playing cornhole. How about you mind your own business? You do your own thing, man. Whatever.
I don't need to know what you do in your spare life. In your spare time.
That's the thing. It's cornhole.
I'm playing cornhole. I could probably stick a beer in that.
Yeah, exactly. Probably. Hey, hold on a second. Let me make a note of that one. I bet you I can come up with something like that too. All right. Yeah.
Karen brought up a good point. She should designing some and start calling them QZs.
Yeah. Right.
Just start coining our own terms now.
Yep.
So Karen also asked a question earlier that was one of the questions that I had for you as well, which was, when did you start 3D modeling? What kind of got you started?
I originally started, it's probably, I would say about 4 years ago or so is when I started stuff. And that was shortly after I got my first 3D printer. Mm-hmm. And that was something, my brother got one. And then, of course, he showed me. And, wow, that's pretty cool. That you got the whole thing. And I don't know if anybody's heard of this place that if you give them your phone number, you can get a 3D printer for $99. It's insane. they get an Ender 3 for 99 bucks. So I did that, and ended up with an Ender 3, literally is the first model, whatever.
Huh.
At this point, it's been, I don't even know. It's been upgraded so many times. I'm not even exactly sure what it is anymore. It's been flashed, new board, everything. But started with that, and then it's probably a couple weeks after I first got it, and after downloading probably 1,000 models off of Thingiverse. The neighbors, very good friends of ours, showed me this picture of a Koozie rack, and it was just a top load Koozie rack. You put the foam koozies in, you pull from the bottom, and they showed me this metal one, and they said, "Hey, can you print something like that?" When they had this folded,
it's like a Koozie dispenser, like what they have the Dixie cups in.
Yep, you put the top and you pull out from the bottom, and at the time I was like, I can't. This was folded metal and some other stuff, and I was like, well, of course I just gotten it, so I was always like, I think all new printers, you kind of get anything with supports, you stay away from. Everybody's kind of scared of supports at first, so design something that was support free that you could print, gave up, you just using Tinkercad, and then
I still use Tinkercad for stuff.
Yeah, and then
on a regular basis.
She really liked it.
There we go, cornhole right here.
Yeah,
you already did it. You literally put
there you go
in a cornhole.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, I started from like that to then I can't remember where there was something that I tried doing more of a fluid simulation, which is what led me to Blender.
Okay.
And then I went into Blender, and the other thing is I think at the time I was.
Oh, would that be some of your? I saw. Sorry, I'm not trying to be.
No, go ahead.
I realized we were talking all about your stuff, but I should show people what we're talking about. Was it something like this where you were kind of messing around with?
There was one. Actually, I don't even have it posted because I want to say it's actually in a bar. It's a local bar, or it was actually a barber lounge. He's got a bar in the back, and he wanted something to go up on the bar. It's basically a michelada, which is like a Mexican Bloody Mary, I think. And they're good, but but he had it, and he wanted like it flowing down over the cup with his logo on the front and the whole 9 yards. And in the fluid, I was at the time really unsure of how to do that in Tinkercad, and so I went out to look at something else, and then I was limited because I also run Linux on like all my machines, so everything's Linux based, and I think Fusion 360 does not have a Linux build, or it didn't have at the time or something. Either way, I ended up in Blender and then doing that, and then it just kind of evolved from there. And then Blender, I took off, and then Blender there's a million different things to learn in Blender. It's like I don't think you can ever really finish learning it. I mean, you can apply any texture you want, take a picture, turn it into a texture. You can do anything.
See, my problem is I can't decide. Okay, for the longest time I couldn't decide what to jump off of because I needed Tinkercad. You can do a lot of amazing stuff in Tinkercad, but I can only go so far, and I really needed something. I really needed to start messing around with parametric design. I was really starting to feel limited with, you can only group shapes together so many times and then go through that Russian nesting doll of ungroup, ungroup in Tinkercad for something that you could just change if you go back in your timeline. But Fusion 360 was a huge learning curve. Blender, I was like, I can't tell if Blender is good for mechanical stuff, or like, dimensionally accurate stuff versus things that are more like organic.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing here.
Billy Rubin had her really awesome like poster about like what design software or what CAD software would work best for you based on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And even on that one, it was like, well, if you want to do mechanical stuff, go this way. If you want to do organic stuff, go this way. And I'm like, but I want to do both. That's the problem. And I don't want to learn two softwares.
I think Blender has the ability, and I've done some more engineering, when you have that kind of precise measurements and stuff like that. I tend not to do that because I do feel like, and I'm sure there's somebody's going to say, no, Blender's great at it. And I'm sure it is. I don't know how to do it and not that good at it. So I definitely use Blender for organic. I mean, if you want organic and nothing has to be an exact fit, and I don't say exact fit because the Koozies, they are still an exact fit for the can and everything, but the modeling on the outside is more of a free flow. You know, you just you start creating or you're sculpting, you know, so that kind of stuff and getting into things. Blender is excellent at it. I mean, I love Blender. I think Blender is a great tool. Like I said, I'm constantly
and see stuff like that. I couldn't even
constantly doing stuff.
I don't even know when.
Yeah,
you couldn't.
and that is texture. That's just
tried hard enough and spent probably like 3 years. You might be able to do something like that in Tinkercad. But
yeah, and that's the thing, and it'd be cool to know, and I'll bet you it's probably possible. I didn't know how. And like you said, that nesting doll on you get in a Tinkercad, and when I'm applying multiple logos or something like that, and you end up in something where my computer was sitting there, it's like Tinkercad's taking me 20 minutes to join stuff or unjoin stuff, and I'm like, okay, I got to find something.
You get the cursed like red lines around stuff, and it says couldn't load the node.
Yep, exactly. That was kind of my issue. They were starting to get a little too complex. Maybe there's a workaround for that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely not bashing Tinkercad. It's online and free. It's amazing. Right.
And there's a lot of people who have done way cooler stuff than I have, but it's just so. It's so cool. So I'm looking at so on your Twitter account or X account, you post some of your finished stuff. A lot of your stuff on Fangs and Cults are like renders because you, like you said, you post like 6 models a week. There's no way you can just sit there and print all of them unless you had like 6 bamboos, which I think you should. That would be amazing.
Yeah, me too. Because these actually at this point right now, what do I have? 1, 2. I have four enders, some form of an ender. They've all been whatever. I got a couple with micro Swisses on them, so they're all kind of upgrades. And then I got the Delta. I've got an FL Sun SR, which is kind of the workorse.
Gotcha. That thing's where you ended up printing that horn.
Yeah, that's the one that's using that one because that one. What's that even go up to? I don't know. It's big enough to do it. So, but that's a nice printer. But I've got them, and it's the printing. I have the capability to print and test print everything. The issue is like that. The post processing to take a good picture and to be able to post is what gets me. It's because, which I'm trying to find all the paint sheets I can possibly do to make it go quicker. Like I said, this one here, that's only 2 colors. It looks way more complicated, but it's not. It's only 2 colors. That's a silver, printed in silver, and then applied brown, and then a black wash over the entire thing and wiped a little hard so it took off some of the brown, and it looks like it's light brown, and it's not. That's only 2. So it came out really nice. That's, I think, probably my new favorite Koozie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a nice
bar back here that you put them on, or is this outside? Or
that's outside. That's back on the deck. I've got a little bar out there.
See, I think so. And please don't take this the wrong way because it's not meant to be like. I just think there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, but if I make something 3D printed, like I don't want to spend forever like doing all the sanding and filling and stuff. You don't. Like, look how good this looks. You can still see some of the layer lines, but
right.
It looks so good painted with the layer lines. You didn't do any filling or anything on this, right? You didn't do any sanding.
That came right off the printer. Came off the printer.
Around the black one. I really close that. My bad. So, and then you sell your designs on Cults too. You were telling me, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's a lot of the older stuff. I say, although the newer stuff does pop up.
Some of the older stuff you're talking about?
Laid off of there, but these are some older ones. You can see when you start seeing more renders, and that's some of the older stuff.
Yeah. But
it's the same thing. It's just
it's there sometimes, right?
Yeah. Beyond the time involved in post processing, the other aspect was I'm a lot better at Blender coloring than I am painting. I'm not a good painter, so like I can take a much better picture in Blender than I can in real life. So I would prefer just to do a render and do it that way. I'm slowly getting better, but yeah, I'm much better at coloring things in Blender.
This looks like it's painted too, yeah?
Yeah, the same thing that came up with brass. I think it's brass or whatever color that is.
So is this 2 colors of paint too, or is it?
No, that's just one. That's the PLA underneath, the silk PLA underneath, and then a black wash on top. And that's another one. That's probably for pint glasses. That's probably my new favorite one too. That one came out also.
That is so cool.
Because it looks like it's like, you know, actual like brass or something, or antique brass. It came out really cool looking.
I wish. So, do you have anywhere where you post videos of your finished stuff, or?
No, not really. The only thing, I mean,
I want to see this moving around in the light so bad. Like,
I'll post something later. There's a YouTube with the handful. The only reason they're there is honestly for things uses. You can do a YouTube link now when you post things. So there's a couple things I've thrown on there, although I don't think I put anything on there.
Yeah, I saw the shorts.
A while, yeah.
Yeah.
But not in general, no, I don't.
So here's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about too, because I said that you've got mostly koozies, but you've started doing these pool noodle swords, and I've been seeing these take the internet by storm. So where did you come up with this idea? Like, how'd you come up with this idea?
I think the idea in general, I think I've seen before, like other people do them.
Really?
And I don't know whether my daughter saw one, like my 5-year-old saw one, and then asked for one. And I tend to, like, if she does, I'll design one myself or whatever. And kind of just went with that. The only thing is these are printed in 2 pieces. So you have the handle, and then there's an insert that goes into the noodle that actually just threads in.
Okay. Then, so the insert for the noodle is printed too?
Yeah. So there's an insert that goes up on the inside that threads down into the handle. It's only about 3 inches long. That goes in there that holds it on. And they're pretty cool. They're effective. I think yesterday at the pool, my daughter, said she was going to get me with one.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I learned. You get an insert that is an insert for a pool noodle. I'm not going to comment what else that looks like.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say it.
Slide to the next thing. That is for a pool noodle. That is what it's so, I can market that a whole different way. So,
especially on
they are. She loves them. Like we had Saturday and Sunday both in pool, and Saturday the kids like them. She likes them, so they're a ton of fun. Kids like them.
And here it looks like you did a black wash just in
yeah, that one I actually did. Same thing. It's like the cheats. So basically, I painted the entire thing black, and then took some light sandpaper and just sanded it down.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like I'm trying to figure out what are the cheats to make it go quicker. Because the post-production is what gets me. It's like I can't. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know models that I haven't touched. I haven't painted them. It's just like I'm not going to get around to them either. So that's where I end up falling back on the renders, which I don't like doing because I know people would much prefer to see a printed model. But sometimes
so many of them. So you sell some models on your Colts, and then you also have a Things membership, right?
Yep. Yeah. Things is the primary. I like that.
We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah. I like how Things have got things kind of for memberships. I really like the kind of feel over things, and I think they're very responsive to anybody designing stuff and posting things. They're very responsive if you have issues or anything like that. They're good about reaching out.
Here too. There's no we're not bashing any of the other platforms.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right.
And I was telling you too, like the only reason I have any Patreon subscriptions for any 3D printing related stuff these days is just for people who don't have a Things account. If somebody has both, I'm like as a patron myself or as a subscriber myself, I'm gonna prefer Things. It's just easier and it seems like it's a little better design. This is not sponsored by Things, by the way.
Right.
It used to be. The show used to be, but
yeah,
and we showed too many pool noodle plugs, and they decided to pull their sponsorship. No, I'm kidding.
You better watch that. Those are going to end up in the Colts naughty section, I think.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll market them a different way. Yeah.
So, if you had to pick a favorite, do you like moving forward? Do you think you're gonna? It sounds like you're pretty passionate about the koozies. I'm assuming you're gonna keep making koozies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're gonna keep knocking out a bunch of different designs for the pool noodles? I know that I saw that you made like you made some variants like a. Well, this guy's interesting. This one's fun. It's just a
Yeah, the Koozie float.
yeah,
Like,
but you made like a ninja star. I say ninja star in
yeah,
quotes.
right. You see that one? My wife. I'm gonna
thing.
say my wife shut that one down pretty quick.
This one.
That one.
Why? Were they throwing around the house?
And she was like, "Do you really think that's a smart thing to give these 5-year-olds?" And I was like,
Were they throwing them?
Like, look, it's not a rock. I was like, look, I was like, we threw rocks at each other. I was just like, this can't be that bad. And I was like, I agree. It might not be the wisest thing. You know, if something comes off, there is hard plastic underneath. So that one ended up, after I printed it, ended up getting pitched in the trash. But it's stuff like that. I like doing the swords mainly because my daughter likes it. So she likes modeling them. That's her thing, and she loves it when it's time for her to model them.
Oh, okay. So she does some modeling too?
She does a lot of the modeling on them. So
modeling, you mean like the photos? The photos.
Yeah, this is like right here. That's her whole net. She likes doing that. So it's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
something you guys can do together.
Yep. She likes doing them.
Oh, and here's is this the horn we were talking about earlier? Or a variant of it?
That's one of them. That's actually, no, that's a match. I don't say matching because it's a slightly different design.
Oh, this looks like a shot glass maybe?
Shot glass. Yeah, that's a shot glass holder.
Oh, it's a good thing Sarah went to the store after work because if she was here and she saw this, it would be on our print list.
It's pretty cool. They come out like that one and the Viking horn koozie, beer can koozie. They look cool and they're great, like ornaments, like to put up for decor. But the logistics behind it is actually like it's not the most practical thing in the world. One, they're large. It's a pretty decent size. Well, where's it? Hold up. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So it's not right. It's not the smallest thing in the world.
But it's so cool.
Yeah, then you got to throw a beer can in there. Okay, right. So it's not the smallest thing in the world, but then, you have to hold it. Okay. Or
like you can't. Yeah.
You have to carry this around with in your back pocket, so that you can, it's a great holder, it's a great holder, but.
See, I just see that as the thing you're carrying around in your pocket is like your cool kids club card. Like thing.
Oh, yeah. It came out cool.
It's annoying to carry around in your pocket, but the benefit is you're drinking out of a freaking horn.
I know. It looks cool. That one, and that was with the shot glass. So it was basically just a kind of little sidekick to the beer can koozie was the shot glass one. That one was good because it could fit on a smaller platform.
Mm-hmm.
Still print, and then I just went from like the bands to doing something a little bit more with the textured leather wrap and, and the strings and stuff on that one I thought was cool. Same thing. I think that's when in Blender learning, or kind of working on the leather textures and kind of that whole thing and making it look like it's pulled and that stuff. So that was kind of the approach. And then after that one, and actually I think I've got another one. I got a bunch of stuff I start and then stop. I've got another one now. I think it's a Viking. I go down a path and then I'll stop and whatever and work on something else, and then I go back like 2 weeks later. I'm like, I have a model. What is that? Didn't I finish that, or I didn't finish it, or whatever? I've got one that was the koozie. I think the Viking horn is the handle. I think that Viking horn like wraps off and around or something.
Oh,
like that.
That's cool.
I'm still working on that one.
So, it's as a matter of fact. I believe I did not look at so Jim pulls the hot makes and throws them in the dock, and he did have time to do that before he got called into work. So I haven't looked at any of the hot makes yet. We're going to go in blind, but if I remember correctly, when I opened one of the links, I think it was tagged by, Maker Viking. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nice.
So perfect subject.
Right.
So do you have any interesting things coming down the pipe? What are you working on next? What are you sticking a beer can in next?
Honestly, I know, right? Kind of, right now, I don't think there's anything too big. I want to say coming down. I've got some spin-offs of the barrel koozie that just went up. I've got
Yeah.
some spin-offs on that with handles and some other kind of changes, a little bit slight different wood textures and stuff like that, playing around with versus hammered metal and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
and then, like I said, the swords. I mean, I've got another one here actually. Probably tomorrow. I got to get my daughter. We got to get our picture. So get her, get that posted. That's like I don't remember what this one is. Celtic. I think it was a Celtic design. But same thing, Celtic sword, stuff like that. And then there's another one I started looking at today, which is someone on Cults. I think it was Cults that messaged me and asked if I could work on a Thundercats sword.
Oh,
Yeah. Sword. Like, and that sword, I've seen it. It's been modeled plenty of times. So I figured, yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. So I was looking up some reference images this morning
that's awesome.
to pull that up and try to go with that one. We'll see how that one goes because I think that one's going to be different. That's going to have to be pieces. It's going to have to be pieced together because I think there's a few more details in that one. But yeah, nothing too big until I probably find the next thing in Blender that I need to try to figure out how to do. And then you'll be getting something that looks like a balloon or something. Who knows? It's going to be whatever comes down the pipeline pretty much.
See, that's what so you have the same super interesting there's a lot of people in this scenario, but you have the same kind of scenario that I love so much about following the Crafty Maker. We had Christoph, we had him on a couple episodes ago. Oh, let me smack my microphone. Where you can kind of see a timeline as people go forward, and as you go further back in their designs, where you can see when they learned how to use new tools. Like Christoph, his earlier designs were a lot more just like plain colors or like big chunks of color and stuff like that. And then you could see when he started learning how to layer things a little bit more. And then you could see when he started learning how to add color changes within a single panel. And then you could see the hue forge and the stained glass. You can see that in what you're doing too. You can see where you started off with the simpler kind of like, let's just add a logo or a kind of interesting, the fire hydrant one where it's a relatively simple design, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
And then you can see where you start adding some of the textures, and then you start adding more organic shapes, and then you start doing full on horns and like. So when I see that, sorry, my eye is itchy. When I see that, it just makes me want to follow that person, and I get excited about what might be coming next. So like what you said a second ago, like you don't have anything too big on the horizon until you find another tool or something in Blender that you want to learn. Like that's when you're going to just come out with a whole new line and everything opens up and we get to see that next step in your progression.
Yeah, it'll be something different. I mean, I think what was it? I don't know. It's probably been a couple months or something, maybe 2 months ago or something. We did, and I can't remember where I originally saw it. It's probably Dave Makes Stuff or something like that when he was doing the Voronoi, all those models and stuff like that. Which I've always found that organic, I mean, it's not spider web, but it's very cool looking stuff. And same thing. Just one day I was just like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know. How do you literally make that object look that way? Right. Yeah. And then it was the same thing, hit YouTube up and boom, boom, boom. What am I looking up? And then I'm sitting there watching these videos and just like, yep, okay, I got you. I see what you're doing. And then it's like, well, what can I do? I don't know, whatever. And I think I have, a handful, 5, 6, 7, I think like bracelets and keychains, stuff like that are made that way. My daughter loves them. She ended up getting them. They go into her little dress up, her dress up outfit stuff. And she gets the bracelets now. It's like same thing. It was a matter of, that was the next thing I wanted to figure out. Like, okay, how do you do that? Yep. And there's a lot of, that's a lot of the designers that like I watch either on social media or things or whatever. It's like watching some of the stuff they do. And I'm just like, how do you do that? Like I look at it, it's like, man, I would love to know how to do that because like, again, when it comes to Blender, I am an amateur compared to what some people can do in that. And I think it's amazing to watch other people that it's just crazy. I look at stuff and it's like, they're just insane. They're nuts. And I wish I could model that well. I'm just like, man, that's crazy good.
Yeah. And the thing that blows my mind is when, like you said, when 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 you take what you said and you take it one step further, and somebody comes up with something and they figure out a process that didn't exist before. They just had an idea and figured it out, and then they share that with everybody else. That is the kind of it's like the idea version of just it's like an open source idea, basically. It's like I figured something out that nobody else knew yet. Here it is.
There was a good example I think of that kind of blew my mind. Still don't understand it, but it's when I watched a video a few weeks ago, a month ago or something, when I think 3D Print Bunny did her video on making the string in Tinkercad. And when she brought up Tinkercad, I was like, wait, what?
That's what I'm saying.
You're doing that in Tinkercad. Yep. And not putting on Tinkercad, like, it's great, but you're doing that? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm like, yeah, woo, duh, you lost me. I don't know how you do it. I was like, it's absolutely amazing. I think people like that, where it's just like you are creating something completely out of the box. That nobody else has even thought of, or something like that. Those are the ones that I like following when they're looking at the new stuff, or someone who lives in that sounds bad, lives in their own universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In their own world. I know what you mean. And they have that world perspective that is theirs. And it's not necessarily even that I don't want to say I don't like it, but it's like it's not my thing or something like that. But I really appreciate the fact that is your world perspective. There's a handful of artists that no matter what they make, you look at it and instantly know exactly whose that is.
Yep.
Like I know for a second, boom, I know who designed that. Yep. And that's the stuff that like I wish I had, because I think my stuff's all over the place sometimes. But it's like there's other people that are like, yeah, I know exactly who designed that in a second. And I appreciate those artists, because I think that really is that's intriguing to have that mindset and the worldview to be able to make models that always just fit in that, not mold in a bad way, but in that worldview. It's just really cool.
It's kind of like the theme that I was talking about earlier. I really don't know how to word it, but I can't quite necessarily pinpoint it, but I feel like you have that. I've seen, like, if I see something that looks like since I started looking at your stuff, when we saw your stuff on the show, and I was like, yeah, we got to get this guy on. I see things every now and then, people printing things, posting things on the 3D printing subreddit, posting things on Facebook groups, and I'm like, that looks like that guy. I didn't know your name was CJ until tonight, but so I was like, this looks like that guy, and turns out it was. So I think you have that. I don't know how to articulate it,
Well, if you can put
I think you're doing exactly what you are admiring in other people. I think you're there. I think you have the same thing that we have, that everybody in our like creative world has, where you don't see it.
Well, I appreciate it. I look at my stuff, and again, it all comes down to, can you stick a beer can in it? So it's always
that's the thing.
If I'm at a party, that's always this. I'm in the backyard at a barbecue. What would look cool holding a beer?
A horn. How about a horn?
Yeah, a horn, right? That is pretty masculine, walking around the backyard with a Viking horn. It is.
Know. Every time you take a sip, you grow more chest hair. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. So it's that kind of stuff. It's stuff that I would use. I have a ton. My wife has, there's routine clean outs. We have to get rid of some koozies and give them away or something, because I got the shelf full back here. There's an entire cabinet in the kitchen that's nothing but, koozies, which she does not appreciate, but I do. They're mine. So
do you ever, when you need to do a clean out like that, do you ever sell them? Like, do you go to local maker fairs and stuff? Or
I used to. I think when I started, I used to. That's actually how I ended up with 5 machines. Because I only had the one, and then the Koozie rack I designed, and then the neighbor who took it loved it, said you should sell these, and I was like, at that point, I didn't have social media. I was like, I'm not a social media person.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't have anything. really don't. People can stay there. I don't really want to talk to them or anything. So, and then she's like, well, I'm going to post it because I think people buy it. And I was like, that's fine. And then literally like a week later, I'm back 3-4 weeks worth of orders for these darn things. And then I felt bad because she was the middleman. And I was like, okay, I'll start a Facebook account. So I started that. And then it kind of evolved from there.
You kind of got roped into.
I got roped into social media. So, and then at some point I designed the corn koozie one. And
cornhole.
Yeah, and that is the one that is why I got 5 machines, because that one designed that. I do have a version of that that's got a blank square on the side for a logo. Because I live in Illinois. This is the middle of the Corn Belt.
I was going to say that's one of the most Western things I've heard somebody say as a guest on the show.
I mean, it's we grow corn. There's corn and beans. That's your 2 options, right? And lots of corn. So farmers love corn. Everybody loves corn. So that went, put a logo. I needed to put a logo to show the logo on it. So I used my sister-in-law manages a grain co-op, and I was like, well, I'll just put her logo on it, stuck it in there. Yep, boom, printed it, took a picture. There you go. And after the fact, I was like, well, I don't want this. It's not mine. Like, I don't care. So I gave it to her. It's like, here, you can have this. Here you go. She gave it to her boss. And then one night, I'm sitting there watching TV, and Morgan texts me, and she's like, hey, can you make 300 of these?
Yep.
And I literally was just like, my response was LOL. Are you kidding me? I even entered 3. Like, that takes 3.5 years. There's no way I can possibly do it. And it was a joke. And she's like, no, dead serious. She told me the story, gave it to her boss, and they have an annual farmers meeting, basically. And they have a whole ton of farmers come in at the grain co-op, do this whole thing, and they want to do it as a giveaway. And I was like, okay, hold on. And I'm just running numbers. Like, how am I doing this? There's no way. And that's when I ended up with more printers. And then I ended up, that was before Bamboo or any of that stuff, or any of the more factory ones. So I ended up with the FL Sun SR, had a little bit bigger build volume. Speeds were up there, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And she told me I had plenty of time. I had months to get ready. And I was like, yep, I can do this. And that is when all of a sudden I have 5. And I was like, I don't know why I have 5 printers. Like, I don't need this. Which, of course, I do. I hope my wife's not listening. Yeah, of course I need 5. I could probably use a couple more. But, so that's why I ended up with this much, is that one order. And that's it.
Awesome.
I paid for everything, and it's just kind of been from there. But that took a long time. Even then, that was I was not expecting that. I thought it was a joke. It's like, you're kidding me, right? Like, I have to figure out the numbers. How is this going to work? It's like, I don't want to go. But yeah, huge boxes of filament coming to the house. I had the numbers sometimes. Tons of yellow filament. The most I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, all single color yellow. It was a lot.
So that explains the great yellow filament shortage of.
Yeah, it had to have been, because I think that was 50, 60 rolls or something like that.
Ooh.
I had piles next to my printers of yellow filament. That's all I had. I was pretty tired of looking at yellow, though.
Karen,
I don't think I
brings up a good point. As far as origin stories are concerned, like Karen said, as far as origin stories are concerned, with having print farms, or even a small collection of printers, that's sticking a beer can in a ear of corn. Like,
that's what it was. And it would happen to be I'd already designed it. It was that logo. That's what they wanted. And I was like, well, I've already done that.
It's already done. You just
got to on that printer and hit go. And that was awesome. That was it. It ended up paying for a bunch of stuff, and it was pretty cool. It kind of got me started on things. And then the Koozie racks, like I said, I was selling Koozie racks pretty hot and heavy back then. And then as soon as I got into blender modeling, I think things just started shifting away from physical printing and physical sales to modeling, and started leaning in that direction. And I think, I love printing. The Delta printer is one of those things. I love Delta printers. It's the one printer I can still sit here when it's running, and I sit here, enjoy a beer, sitting here, watch this thing print. It just, I still don't get it. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do this. How's everything? I think they're cool to
Finish the
watch.
beer, the print is done. You pop the
Yep.
print off the bed, slide another beer, crack it open, and click
Yep.
print again.
Yeah, they're cool to watch. I think they're fun. So
I agree. When I first got into 3D printing, I started my 3D printing addiction build Orion deltas at See Me CNC, and it just never. I could never stop watching them. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's still kind of magic to me. Like a Cartesian, like a standard bed slinger, right? You can kind of understand how that works when you're watching it, right?
You can see that one. I don't. I still don't. I mean, I get it. It's all in there, but to sit there and think of it, all three working simultaneously to do X, Y, and Z all at the exact same time.
Deltas and Core XY machines.
It's up and down. You're sitting there doing it, and you're just like, it is the crazy. And then you throw it up where it's running. I mean, for the SR, that's usually you get up about 150 is about the where I go with that, and it's at 150, and it's just moving.
Mm-hmm.
And things are going, and you're just like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know this thing does it, but it is pretty cool.
My caveman brain does not understand it.
I know exactly right. Yeah, they're pretty neat.
So I'm kind of jumping around the timeline a bunch, but I did have one more question that I don't want to forget because I was really interested in finding out. Did you so you started in Tinkercad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was before that? Like you said you were in the Navy.
Yeah.
So did you always have an interest in 3D modeling, or did you just kind of how did you even get started at all? Where did you come from?
Yeah, I don't think 3D modeling is definitely, I don't know if I consider it that, but I've always been very big into woodworking. So just the creative kind of building of things, that's just something, I mean, and that's from my grandfather since I was a little kid. It's always been tinkering with things, building stuff out of wood. So I think the next level of effectively doing the same thing just in digital, in a digital format, and then making it in plastic, it's effectively the same thing. And I appreciated that, and it was a nice avenue because I've got one of the brains that it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's like I always have a sketch pad in my pocket to write some stupid stuff down or whatever. Next thing I'm sticking a beer can in.
That's how creatives work. Our brains just shut off.
It just doesn't. So it's a nice avenue where it's just like, again, my wife will walk in the living room and here I am, on YouTube watching a Blender tutorial on how to sculpt. I have no idea. And she's just like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Well, watch this guy. Look what he's making. Check this out." And I'm like, and that's entertaining for me. I'm totally cool with that. I could do that all day long. So I think that was just the part of it. It wasn't, definitely not something. When I was in the Navy, I was I was in the nuke field, so I was a nuclear operator on board an aircraft carrier, and then was an instructor for nuclear operators at Prototype, which is the shore duty where they learn how to run a nuclear power plant. Was an instructor there, then got out, and then stayed in the nuclear field. So I've been in the nuclear field since I was 19 or 20 years old.
Ooh.
And just done that. So it's just been it's a technical, but it's not that kind of technical when it comes to 3D. So
do you still do that? Are you still,
as far as nuke stuff?
Well, no, just so I guess what's the question I'm trying to ask? So you got you ended up with that influx of corn holes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you kind of started transitioning from physical sales to selling digital models and memberships and stuff. So did that momentum kind of keep going? Are you doing this full time now, or?
No. I've got a day job, so I work still same a nuclear facility close to here. That's actually pretty boring, but I am the safety manager for the facility. That's
awesome, though.
It is.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
I'm not. It's a safety manager. So, but I've done the whole thing. It's unlike me for people who know me that I am the safety manager because I'm an operator. So I've always been operations, certified welder, like the whole 9 yards. I build things, and then I end up as the safety manager. So I tell everybody to slow down and don't do it. Like, don't do that. Ow. That's what I used to do when I was an operator. Don't do that. That's bad. So, still do that kind of stuff, but it's kind of, at this point, it's like, I think it helps kind of subsidize, filament, filament purchases and things like that. And again, I've got a pretty expensive transmission I've got to pay off.
That's true. Yeah.
It definitely subsidizes my Jeep issue. So definitely helps that. So that's the plan. But yeah, no, I work normal job. So yep, this is a very fun hobby that I enjoy doing. That's the great part about it. Is I love modeling. You sit down at the computer. If I got a minute, pop the laptop up and I'm figuring something out, modeling something.
Well, it's a troubleshooting process that you can do anywhere, as long as you have the one, as long as you can sit down at a computer. It's not like you have to go out to the shop or you have to go buy materials or whatever. Like you can just sit down and have a nice little 5-minute snack of troubleshooting and creativity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate you answering all the questions that I had and the couple questions that came through in the chat. Would you, it's 7:00 now, would you like to join me and our viewers as we check out some hot makes?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how we found you, but.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's go check out some hot makes. It's weird running the bumper stuff when I'm the only one here. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, hot mix. I just realized how many we tend to have. We have 2 or 3 viewers tonight that are from, that are from the Midwest. Sorry, I'm super distracted because I double clicked something I don't normally double click, and StreamYard just went all over the place on me. I swear I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I swear. Anyway, so the first hot mix we have here, that's what I was saying. Maker Viking, perfect.
Yep.
Sharing Moondragon by my friend Fotis Mint.
Fotis
does some amazing screens. Yeah. Really well printed on a bamboo A1 Mini with Polymaker filaments. That's good. Really fun. I wish, man, that looks good.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like he said the A1 Mini with the AMS. So I'm assuming that's
so different colors. He's got
but I'm assuming that's not glow in the dark filament. I'm guessing that's just white or a gray. That looks good though. Well done, sir. We have a ton of them. What am I doing here? This is me? Why am I on here? Oh.
Is this the hat?
Yeah, the hat. Last week I was wearing or the last episode I was wearing my Tripod's Garage hat, and I have a big head. Here, example of the big head. This is where the strap is for this hat I'm wearing currently. And the tripod, the stitching for the patch or whatever in the front, and there was just a spot. I ended up with a headache at the end of the night, by the way. So I don't usually. I had to have one of those hats and support him because I love John, but typically I don't buy the flex fit hats for that exact reason. One size does not fit all. All right, so the next one we have here, we have CL3D, another person that I would love to get on the show. So the Chroma Throne headset mount light box with swappable, editable faceplates and stands. So is this? I should probably open the first one first. That is cool. Your own stand front. Okay. Sorry.
What's the software? Is that OpenSCAD or something like that? What's the software that you can edit it?
I know. That's cool. What I'm.
What's the
website? Does it say? It doesn't say.
I've seen some of those where they use like Open SCAD or something like that, where it's all code, and it basically highlighted what you need. Yeah, so
well, it looks like they're designing in Fusion, but I don't know what the file type is.
Gotcha.
But I've seen the Shirtle designs for all the light boxes and stuff. They do a crap ton of light boxes, and it's so cool. I know that they have a tutorial somewhere too. We really ought to get them on the show sometime too. Very, very cool.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. Starting with the local maker, Michigan. Let's get a tally started. So we have.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me start. We have 1. Okay. So who do we have here? Since Murph is coming up, that's right. Are you going to Murph? You were asking me about whether or not we were going to Murph.
Yeah, I am. I'm unfortunately not, because I would actually kind of love to. I think this is the first year I've been actively like social media, kind of getting things, out there and stuff. And I would love to. Unfortunately, like best friend served in the Navy with him. His daughter is getting married that weekend.
Oh,
yeah, that's unfortunately that's a no-go. Can't do it. So it's unfortunate. Like I said, I would love to go and kind of meet some people, but it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been an awesome opportunity to meet you in person. But I totally understand that. Family first, whether they're blood related or not. Family first. Okay. Sorry, it's weird. Normally, I handle things in the background while Jim is talking. So I'm very distracted. Making sure that I'm posting these. Okay, so now we have Tech Jeeper wood chip. Decided to use Capricorn tubes, Heartwood, and Polymaker Galaxy Dark Blue. Ooh. Oh, hey, perfect.
That looks good. I like those.
And it's Jeep related.
Yep.
So we were talking about how everybody's starting to do these. We used to do maker coins, but now everybody's doing these poker chips, and I kind of like it. I like the poker chip thing because it's a little bit more stand containers for them and stuff, and collect them at shows instead of throwing everything in a bag. But I loved the creativity of people making just not random, but making their own like shapes and designs. Like some of them were gears, some of them were bottle caps, some of them weren't even a coin shape, But this looks good. I like the Heartwood. I haven't seen the Heartwood filament. Well, I mean, I'm looking at it now, but that's good color combo.
Yeah, that looks good.
I got to make sure I don't forget to do this part too. I always repost stuff, and repost stuff when we're going through the show, and I totally. What happened? That's the same one. Okay, I swear I know what I'm doing. Tech Jeeper again. Princess Duck by Built Over Bot. Built Over Bot does some really cool designs.
Yep.
I feel like that's another designer that's like always on the front page every time I open things. All you got to do is scroll once or twice. So what material is this? I don't know what. It doesn't say what filament. Looks good though.
Yep.
Looks like it was a multicolor print. Maybe it might have been separate pieces. But yeah, looks good. Next, what else do we have? Stay positive. What? I don't think Jim.
Stay positive. No, it's always good. That's a good model. Stay positive.
Don't hate. Yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead and we'll do this.
There you go.
I think the hot makes tag in this was added from a tag generator.
Yeah.
That somebody used, because we have a combination of who is this? Margaret? Yeah.
Investor and
I mean, it might have been intentional, but I highly doubt it, because we have Black occupational therapists, home healthcare, and then hot makes and snap makers.
I feel like you're kind of all over the place on that one.
I know. Full control G, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm assuming. Okay. I think Jim. He probably got called into work and was like, "Crap, I got to put together the hot makes," and that is funny. Well, it's still good rule. I like it. It's a good message. So
Very positive.
very positive. Ooh, I like this. What are we looking at here? How would you slice that episode with desktop makes? Made myself an infill clock. What?
Oh,
That's
seriously?
cool. That's smart.
Oh,
So
that's cool. I like that one.
Prusa slicer modifiers. How would you slice that? Teaching Fusion 360.
Huh.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that later. That's cool. I love that idea. That's a really cool idea. Oh, hey, Maker Vikings here. We just earlier showed off your print. That really sweet dragon.
Yeah, that was sharp.
I really like this idea. I didn't know there were that many patterns of infill, but
Yeah, that's cool. It's interesting just for infill that it's effectively art. I mean,
so
it
were
is.
there? So I mean, were there actually? I don't see any of those that are repeating themselves. I don't think. So I'm guessing there's either some infill that's not represented here, or I mean, I doubt there were exactly 12. That would have been perfect. Yeah, that's a super cool idea. I love that.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, I'm gonna stop gushing over that one, and we will move on. Karen, in the house. Big thanks to all the subs, likes, comments, shares, support the growth of the YouTube channel. Hey, I appreciate a good milestone. We like a good milestone around here. Also, I like the dancing, the little dancing dinosaur. I love it. Absolutely. Congratulations. Here, let's get that to 400. Let's get it to 500. How about that? Let's get it to 5 million. That would be even better. Loch Ness. Fantastic. Congratulations, Karen. And thank you for hanging out. LDO motor. Oh, here we go. We got to add another counter. Add something to the counter. Local maker, Michigan. LDO Motors Murph 2024. So since Murph is coming up, we're designing maker bricks for the sponsors as a thank you. That's cool. That's probably why we have so many of his. There's like 15 infill types or so. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
See? I'm running out of steam. This coffee only goes so far. It's because I'm not drinking it out of a horn. That's why.
Exactly.
Very cool. I love all of Local Maker Michigan stuff. And here's another one. All right. Number 3, ePax 3D. They were also one of the sponsors for the Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. I was working on that video earlier and remember looking at them on the list. Very cool. I appreciate that he's putting the Murph 2024. Yeah. Duolingo Duo. Okay. To remind them not to lose their streak. Okay. I'm actually very glad that Sarah hasn't made it home yet because she has been like competing. I don't know what you would call it. But a lot more Duolingo recently. She calls it Puerto Rican. her dad is half Puerto Rican, so she has, she had grandparents, they've passed away since, but she had grandparents that were Puerto Rican, and she knows a lot of Spanish, but she's been using Duolingo to really like push that even further lately. And it's fun because between that and her understanding of sign language, I've got the odds are against me because anytime she says something, it could 2 out of 3 times it could be a language I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, and I have to tell her, I'm like, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to be like weird, but like English, please. I have no idea what you just said.
If she's just waving her hands across the room, like, what are you yelling at me?
Yeah. But now I want to print a couple of these, especially this one, because this is her. For those of you who know her, this is her kind of energy right here. Both of these, but definitely this one. Fantastic. I'll have to make some of those. Looks good. Looks like it was printed or painted too, I believe.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's so I've got to print a couple of those. Hey, speaking of Christoph,
Yeah.
Mother's Day gift. Mother's Day has come and gone, but there's always time for next year. Mother's Day gift to all incredible moms out there. Celebrate Unbreakable Bond. I love his shadow box designs.
Yeah. They're nice.
And I love that this. So that's like I was saying before too. You can kind of see over time, using the different ideas or the different like new features and new methods that somebody's come up with. I love that with the multi-layered stuff, you can print them in darker shades or lighter shades as you get further along to kind of make it seem further away than it is. Because like this totally looks like all 4 panels were printed in white and it's just going further into like a red room or like a light or something. But very, very cool. Love his stuff.
Yeah, he's got some amazing models. I'd say some of them, I mean, like, what is it, the stained glass stuff?
I know, yeah, that stuff.
That's another one at some point.
That blew my mind.
How you do it. They're really cool looking.
Local maker, Michigan, the Dragon's Den. Make a bricks for the Dragon's Den stream to make a bricks for the sponsors. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar.
Dragon's Den?
Dragon's Den. I feel like I should be. The Dragon's Den. A British reality TV show from 2005. Okay, I'll look that up later because I doubt that's what it is.
Right.
So that's number 4 on the list for local maker. We have another Karen. Karen is back. Back again. You're right, it doesn't have to. Oh, you know what? She's right. It doesn't have to be for Mother's Day. You can just make nice stuff for your mom.
Yep, that's true.
This week I get a bonus tutorial with 3D model. Okay. That's awesome. Good.
Yep.
Well done with the photo too. I like the fact that you matched it up. Very cool. Also, that's tiny. What is it? Is it like a... Is it for Karen? Is it for it's 1/6 scale, so that wouldn't be for like oh my god, I can't think of like what like Jim's wife Lindsay, she makes like dollhouse stuff. Oh, it was designed to be a magnet, of course. Back at it again with the adorable magnets. I love it. Absolutely awesome. Yep, okay. Very cool. Here we go. Mace Windu lightsaber turned out. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
So I've been printing a bunch of these lately. Bunch of 3D Printing World's lightsabers, and this one looks good. That's clean.
Yeah, it is. All of those are cool.
Very super cool. And his commercial tier is super worth it too. Because these things when you go to like a local maker fair, just everybody ends up kind of gathering at your table because you have the bright, colorful things that you can play with, and then the people with the booth next to you hate you by the end of the night because they just keep hearing the shh all night.
Right. Yeah,
that looks great, Liz. Fantastic. I think Liz is here. She is. Did it in pieces. Oh, there we go. That's where the clean colors come from. Very cool. Guitar pedal art on HueForge. What is going on here?
Really?
We are.
I tell you, those are
finding hobbies like never before.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, you know what else this looks like?
It's that cornhole board.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for. Images where there's not enough like in the image to reference size, this could very well be.
That could be large.
Yeah, this could
Yeah,
this almost could be a like an epoxy or a concrete like garage floor. You know,
yeah,
this could be a cornhole board. We're bringing it back full circle. A
yep.
circle you could put beer can in. By the way,
Yep.
that looks awesome. Greg's Maker Corner. Well done, sir. I just I think this is the first time we've had something. We've had guitars on the show before, but I think this is the first time we've seen something for a pedal or for a guitar accessory. So that's cool. That's awesome. All right. Oh, another one to add to the counter. We have 5 so far. Well done. Murph's coming up. So Make or Break is for 3D printing. Yes. We love 3D printing world on this show.
Well, this stuff they got, honestly, awesome. That's the
Amazing.
thing when you look at it, there's so much stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the swords, all of
Yep.
the lightsabers, and then even outside of those things, there's still like the like different designs sprinkled in there every now and then. But that's another situation. Like I was saying earlier with you and the koozies, it's like there's a theme. Oh, 3D printing world is here. There's a theme. There's something that you really specialize in, and like I'm not even gonna try to make a collapsible like blade. You know, I'm not.
You know,
I'm gonna
they
print something that somebody else did, but I don't know how to get those tolerances the way he
I
has
know.
them.
Yeah, they're crazy. In so many different ones. That's the thing. There's so many, and you're just like, I don't even know. Like at some point, you just like, my brain had just shut off, and you're like, yeah, I don't have anything left. I'm done. It's empty. But
I feel
yeah,
so bad.
those are so cool.
It's good to know that he's going to be at Murph because um, I feel really bad because when he was at the Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival and we ran into him while we were doing hot makes as like a live thing, and Jim and I had our kind of like welcome to hot makes kind of like attitude or like persona in place, right? All the energy and being a little bit more intrusive, not intrusive, but like, you know, asking questions and saying, hey, how are you doing kind of stuff. And he was not prepared for that. And he didn't know we were doing hot makes because we didn't warn him ahead of time like we did with some of the people who had booths because we just ran into him.
Mhm.
And he messaged us afterwards. He's like, hey, I didn't realize you were doing hot makes. He's like, I was very like reserved and quiet, and I was very caught off guard. I was like, man, I feel so bad. So I do hope that we do get to make it up to Murph so that we can, especially Sarah. I would love for Sarah to say hi as well to 3D printing world. Ooh,
Oh, there's another one.
local maker Michigan, but this one isn't a maker brick, so I'm not going to count it on the list. Look at that. What? Q-Forge Bamboo Logos.
Yeah, those are such cool prints.
I'm just the Q-Forge stuff blows my mind, dude.
Yeah, the depth you can get out of that, and I don't even know how. I mean, said and done, what are those average thickness? I mean, I don't know.
Thin,
like, but yeah, thin, right? It's like it's like
millimeters top.
Yeah, a couple millimeters tops. The amount of depth you can get in a handful of colors is insane.
You know, something I really love about this particular design too is that like the colored layer, like the layers that are created from the different colors, really kind of it's like there's a physicality to all of his like wrinkles and rolls and stuff.
Yep.
You know,
yeah,
the light's hitting it just right.
Yeah, it's amazing depth. It's amazing depth for what you get in whatever 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, something like that. It's amazing depth.
Oh yeah, very cool. Local Maker Michigan, spirit-led development. We have another maker brick for Murph. Very cool. It's just constantly cranking out those designs.
Yeah.
Another one, KB3D. They were also at Murph. Very cool. Sorry, I'm not. I guess I'm. Oh, did I share that last one? I don't know if I did. I'll have to go back. More Jeep stuff.
There you go.
It's like somebody new.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the maker coins. Very cool. So what do we have here? Maker chip box. Maker chip box. Okay. So is this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's yeah.
Right.
So
Yep.
everybody doing things as a poker chip makes it so that you can, there's kind of a standard to it. Very cool. That's awesome. It looks like let me see here. Yeah, it looks like some of these were printed with one of those beds that has like the patterns that transfer onto the
Oh
print.
yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
I forget. I don't
Yeah.
remember what they're called, but yeah, they kind of have like a lenticular.
Right. You put like your logo or whatever.
Oh yeah, and well, Ender Prototypes is the one who's doing the ones like the custom ones with the logos and stuff. But I know that you can get like on Amazon and AliExpress and stuff. You can get ones that have like a fractal pattern or like a gemstone type pattern. And I don't know how. This is another thing that my caveman stand is the purpose of this post is the box, but we're kind of on a rabbit trail here. I don't understand how it's rainbow when you print on those beds that have like a rainbow colored texture, gloss, like glittery texture to them. The print is rainbow.
So that's not. Yeah. Okay. And then you just lost me then. Okay. So
I know, right?
is that? Yeah. How does that work?
That's not printed on the. That's not this. So this coin is printed
Yeah.
in blue and white.
Yeah. Right. So that's coming from the bed.
Yeah, I don't understand how it works.
All right. Yeah.
I really don't. It has to be something related to like the texture and how the light hits the texture somehow.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, Tech Jeeper. I didn't mean it's the. I just got distracted by this thing, and
It's magic. I agree. Right. It's magic.
Magic.
Yeah, that's magic.
But we all thought 3D printing was magic to beginning.
That is true.
So
yep.
Here we go. Destroyed Stormtrooper. After sitting in my workshop for a half a year, I completely understand that stroll. That looks good though. Looks very good. Who tagged this? Somebody tagged it.
It allows the plastic to do the same. Huh.
That looks awesome. Is that full size? It looks like a full size.
It looks like it, don't it? That's a cool model.
That's awesome. Good job on the paint job too. It looks like there's more damage over there. Yeah, that's sweet. I love that. I might be doing something like that. Oh, here we go. 5 style templates, maker chips. All right, well there you go. That's how that's how everybody's making their maker chips.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. K2 Kevin. Always making things for other people to take and run with and make it their own. Very cool. We have another maker brick here. Always on it. Thank you for always submitting your designs. Local Maker Michigan, Chad, as I learned the other day. Actually, I already knew that, but I forgot. Karen says Zach Friedman's recent YouTube video explained that magic a little bit, so I'll have to go check that out. I'm assuming the magic from the rainbow stuff from the bed.
Yeah.
Micro Swiss and Local Maker Michigan. We are on number 9 now. Very cool. Sorry, I'm not trying. They're very cool. I'm not trying to blast through them. There's so many of them, and I'm kind of running out of steam. I'll be honest. So I've been seeing this a lot. I've been seeing people 3D printing the
not rocks, something kind of like them. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've been seeing this a lot more recently, so I think this is another trend that's going around. I don't know how. It's all on that tiny little.
I've seen some videos in the past of them doing shoes, and it was the durability is I think it's cool as heck. It's just a matter of I wonder what the durability on them is.
Well, with TPU, I'm guessing it's a lot more durable with the TPU. But I've seen ones before with like the plastic shoes and stuff. I mean, at that point, you're basically wearing clogs.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
But yeah, I wonder how comfortable those are too. I wonder if you could change the infill percentage.
Yeah, change maybe how
a different
whatever squishy or whatever.
Yeah,
the feel of them.
Very cool. Durability equals 1 Earth. All right. Fix them, dude. What do we have here? Awesome. Where Pez dispensers on your head, you're in luck. Pezfinity headband. Unholy perversion of a design. I love it. This was at she was wearing this at the Rocky Mountain Rip Rap Festival. Yeah, and that's where this picture's from. I love it. I absolutely love it. And as seen on Zach Friedman. Not on his YouTube channel, not on his video, on him.
Yeah.
That's great. Absolutely love it. Liz, you're always throwing fun stuff out there. I love it. And your obsession with Pez. Beaverton Milestone Hobby. I'm not familiar with a lot of these sponsors, but we are on number 10. Maker Brick number 10.
What if that's like a local? Maybe somebody local?
I'm wondering if some of them are. Yeah, it's possible. Riley Children's Foundation. Well, I know that one's local. Or at least they have locations that are local. I don't know what I'm talking about. Very cool. This one's pretty detailed. I like that. Another one? Nope. Oh, but another Karen. Karen's back. Cute and functional gifts for any occasion. 3D printable models on things. Heart display stand. Hold photos, cards. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I see what's going on here. That's awesome.
Yeah, those are cool.
Is there a link? Photos, cards, make it a stream music on things. Let's see. I want to see if there's any pictures of them holding things because I don't know what the scale is here. I guess we can kind of figure out the scale from the layer lines here. But take me to the things. Here. No. There. Let's see. Gift box, gift set. Nope. No. Yes. That's what I was looking for. Okay. That's a good card. They're smaller than I thought they were. That's awesome, though. I love this.
Yeah.
Very fun. Okay. I opened too many tabs now. There we go. And we have another Maker Brick C3D. Not to be confused with See Me CNC. Or 3D. Hang on. So that's number 12. Well done. Always cranking them out. Even more fuzzy prints. Fizzy prints. I'm not familiar with these guys either. I'll check that out. So that's number 13. We're getting up there. We're in double digits. Well done, local Maker Michigan. And of course, last and definitely not least, we have another Maker Brick. This one's for Chibi Army Group. Another group that I'm not familiar with, but I'm going to check them out. There it is. All right. There was a very anticlimactic ending, but but I'm tired. Didn't have any photographs or greeting cards to stage with them. Well, I might be printing some then, and I'll send you some pictures if I do. Final layer, Jeremy says, a texture on the plate that refracts the light and imprints into the plastic allows the plastic to do the same. So I'm wondering if what's showing on the print is like a complementary color or like the opposite color of what was on the plate, maybe. I don't know.
I have to look that one up.
I know it's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how that does that.
New Dan says, Hot Mix, read chat. I'm sorry, man. I can only do so much. Hang on. I'm okay. I'm going through. Second the overlay, tattoo. Did it in pieces. So did somebody say something? PEYPEO. Yep, holographic. One of a billion K2 Maker Chip carriers holders. I'm assuming that was the case. And then magic. There we go. And like magic. See? There's the answer. There's the official scientific answer. All right, man. I'm about ready to
hang her up.
I'm tired. Yeah. Sarah just walked in too. I just heard her come back home. So she's across the house. What up? Oh, hey, Pete. CL3D. We were just talking about you earlier. I'd love to get you on the show sometime. Very cool light boxes. So, all right. One last time before we leave, CJ, tell everybody, anybody who might have jumped in halfway through, if you don't mind, let us know who you are, what you do, and where can people find you and your cool designs.
Yep. My name's CJ from CL3D Printing. And I joked earlier because it's CL3D Printing because CJ3D Printing was taken when I so it's CL, which is my last name. So yeah, you can find me things primarily, but cults and printables just started literally like a couple days ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, I primarily do a lot of focus, like 90% is probably beer koozies or canned koozies in case you have a soda or something good. But beer koozies and bar-related items for the most part. And I make models based on whatever I'm learning in Blender at the time. They tend to focus on that.
We should have just gone full send tonight since Jim wasn't here. It could have been like the adult hot mix episode where we just start cracking some beers, and like by the end of the show, everything's a little looser. Like,
yep, I'd be in absolutely. Yeah, that'd be nice. There was only one. I could have had a cooler sitting here next to me. It's been a 6-pack of IPAs in, then things really get fun. So
and a quick clarification on two things. One, CL3D says the headset stand template was made in Fusion 360 and the F3D file is supplied with it. Cool.
Oh,
and then
nice.
Maker Michigan said that there were 14 maker breaks in 2 weeks. So one per day, basically. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, that's basically what you're doing though. With the you said you're posting about 5 designs or so per week, right?
Yeah, usually it's like I said, it's going to slow down a little bit more. Weather warms up, and then it becomes Jeep weather, so I end up not modeling quite as much. But it's still, I mean, bare minimum would be 2 or 3. So usually, like say 3, 4 a week would be average in general. But I tend to get like that in a groove, and you start boom, 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 start hitting them as they're coming out. So, yep, yeah, yeah, that's it. Honestly, I really want to thank you for inviting me on.
Really thank you for taking the time to hang out.
Yeah, very cool. I liked it. This is fun. Definitely this first. So very cool.
Hey, whenever you're free, whenever you'd like to, just shout, and love to have you on again sometime.
Yeah, cool. That'd be awesome. Very good time.
All right, sir. Let's call it. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks again.